Hello, hello. All right. I think we can hear me. Okay. I think yep, it looks like we are on. All right. Awesome. How's it going, guys? Welcome to today's live today. My name is Will from Leet Creative, and my mission is simply just to help you better communicate your value using video marketing so that way you can win more business. So, today we are going to be talking about why you should be starting your 2023 video marketing plan right now or as soon as possible before 2023 hits and we are struggling to figure out what can we do now for our different uses of video content, right? So that's what we're going to dive in today. I'm just going to go here real quick and let's just dive in as usual. I don't want to waste too much time and I just want to dive in, give you guys as much value as possible and let you guys delve in it, dip in it and soak in it. All right, let's go here and let's go here. All right, awesome. Okay, so yeah, 2023 video marketing plan. Let's do this here. Okay, just right. So, why we want to start our video marketing plan in general right now? Because basically, if we're saying different things, right, we have goals that we want to hit, right, in our business. We have goals. Sometimes it could be weekly goals, it could be monthly goals, it could be quarterly goals, or it could be yearly goals. So we want to figure out how we can align our marketing, our sales and marketing together in order to reach those goals. And video, of course, is one of the most powerful and most effective way to market your business right now. So if you are able to use video as your tool to help in your marketing efforts, so that way your marketing aligns with your sales, then you're able to hit your goals much quicker and you're able to track things more. So also with video is also very trackable too, right? We all know the benefits of video in general, right? So how you are able to reach those goals is using video, and you can also track them using analytics, so many different analytics. So if you're using social media, or if you're using it on your website, or if you're using it on um let's say on a different player or something like that, on a different email communication, you can track all of those things and you can see how your videos are performing and how you can align different things to make sure that what you're marketing, what you're doing in your marketing is aligned with that. Now, so the very first thing that I'm going to talk about, actually, the very first benefit or pro that I'm going to say here is why we want to have our video marketing strategy. Let's say here, number one, it helps it helps us get a clear plan to follow, right? Let me just put this over here as a pro. Once again with this tablet. I'm still getting used to the tablets. It's still very very intuitive, but I'm still getting used to it. So number one, we'll have a clear plan to follow if we are strategizing right now and we are planning it ahead of time. We know exactly what we want to do and we can map out different things as to where things can go in terms of if we're doing paid traffic. If you want to do paid traffic, you have a plan to follow with that when you want to do that. You have if you're doing on your website, let's say if you're doing a show or if you're doing a series or so, you can have that planned out and you can start piecing things together for that. Or if you're doing it for social media too, you can know exactly how often you want to post, how many videos you have to be creating, what kinds of videos they would be, and what times you'll be posting them, or like in specific times as specific days, and the frequency you'll be posting on them. So when we have a clear plan to follow, that is just what can happen. You will exactly know where you want to go from point A to point B, depending on your goals, of course. Let's say we have these goals. Let's just give let me go here. Let's just give this a clear, is a big cons here. And really, honestly, there's not that much cons. So I'm gonna just draw a line down here and let's just name this one as goals here. Yeah, there's not that much cons planning your video strategy ahead of time. So it's not gonna be too long on that. So let's say goals. Let's say you want to increase brand awareness, right? Let's say increase brand awareness This is one of the goals we want to do, or this is one of them. We want to increase brand awareness. Let's say another goal is we want to be able to nurture our clients, nurture our existing clients, nurture, we say, clients or customers. Okay. And let's say another one could be, depending on different goals, man. So another one, let's say we want to increase sales too, right? We want more conversions or increase sales. So I'll just say increase uh, conversions slash sales, right? So these are a few goals that you might want to hit, right? With that, or let's say another different or more specific goal, if you want to say, is I want to reach, um, I want to get about, not really, let's not say in terms of followers for social media, but a more social media specific one is, let's say we want to, what kind of specific goal? I'm looking for a specific goal that I would say for social media. Let's say we want to get more engagement, right? We want to increase our engagements. That's a good trackable one for social media. One of these goals, let's say you have one of these goals for next year for a quarter, or you have to hit one of these goals for monthly goals, or this could be a quarterly goal, or once again, this could be a full yearly goals, right? So if we have a clear plan to follow, we can know where we can put things at and where we can figure things out to put them to align with our goals, our sales and marketing aligned. And let's say number two, why we want to do that early is this can easily save you time and energy. That's just easy. I mean, we know planning ahead of time. If you don't plan, or what's the saying? If you don't plan, then you plan to fail, right? That's what it is. So if you're not planning, you're planning to fail. So when you're planning, you save time, you save energy, depending on what it is. I'm not going to say you save money because that really depends, in a way that does depend. But we'll see how we can save money in that. So when we plan ahead of time, we can save time, we can save energy, rather than when the day comes, let's say you're like, next week, we need to create a video ASAP right now because we've just launched the product and we need to increase our brand awareness of that. So, or we need to promote the product that we've just launched. So what can we start doing? So now you're using so many energy, using so much energy to start thinking about what kind of videos you're going to be making to promote that product or promote your offer or something like that. And that just takes so much time when that week that let's say that week that you already launched, that week you already have the plan already in place to follow, and maybe the gears are already turning for that plan to execute, right? So another thing is, why we want to do that early is because we can easily measure, let me say, we can easily start to plan how to measure, this whole handwriting thing, man. We can measure and track our progress. Okay, so when we plan ahead of time right now, when we are planning now, we start to figure out, okay, if we are doing brand awareness, how can we track that, right? If this is our goal, how can we track that? So you'll be looking at something like, you'll be looking at your reach, you'll be looking at impressions, um, these kind of metrics like that, right? Those very top of the funnel metrics. So you'd be looking at that and you can say, okay, these are what we will be tracking within this quarters to make sure that we are hitting this goal, right? Or if we are doing to nurture clients, then this is what we can track. We can track return visits, how many people are returning back to our website or returning to our page or so, how many people are returning to it, maybe even how many people are engaging with it, but that's a whole different one, right? If we're tracking conversions, then we want to track things like, our clicks or our click-through rates, things like that. So also another one that you can track for nurturing is your watch time, or like your view through rate, right? So let's say your watch time. Now you can track that. Now these metrics would be aligned with these goals, and this is what you'll be tracking for your specific campaign or for your specific strategy. For engagement, I mean, that one is pretty simple. How many people are sharing, how many shares, how many comments, how many likes, things like that, right? That's how you track it. Now, I've not put follows here because the amount of followers that you have really doesn't matter as long as you have quality followers. Like if you have quality followers, or if you have a quality following, then you can easily start increasing your conversions. Of course, you can know that your content is working and these are the people that are following your content because they know it's valuable to them. But some people can just have like thousands of followers, but they have zero engagement, zero likes. They're not even converting on any post or even on any of their profiles because the content is just a very broad content for anyone and everyone. And when you apply for, or when you appeal to everyone, right, you appeal to no one. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. So here, when you start to plan ahead of time, you can easily measure and track your progress and know what metrics you need to be focusing on. And these are the easy metrics to just focus on, and you can start planning ahead of time, figuring out where these metrics are, or if you are working with an agency like Leet Creative or something like that, then you can tell them these are the metrics that we want to track and these are the metrics we want to keep in place to make sure that we are hitting our goals and make sure we are progressing from where we are to where we want to be. Now, number four, we can easily increase our chances so we can know where opportunities are, where the next opportunities are, or like potential challenges ahead of time, right? So let's say we can easily identify uh, potential challenges or opportunities. Uh, So when we plan ahead of time, this is another benefit to just planning ahead of time, right? We can easily identify potential challenges and opportunities that will be coming up, especially nowadays. Let's say, for example, right, you plan a full year's worth, right, a full year's worth of marketing strategy or your video content strategy. In between those times that you have spent to plan that out, now you can know that, okay, towards this day, right, this is an opportunity here for our business now. Like, let's say on a Black Friday opportunity, that is an opportunity right there. Let's say towards summer, you now remember, oh, this news has come up, or this new place has shown up. If you're a local business, this new place has shown up. Maybe we can partner up with them now and create these types of content. Now you are identifying the opportunities there. Or in terms of challenges, you start to identify things like, if you're doing social media, you start to see how social media is changing. For example, LinkedIn or Facebook or even Instagram or Twitter, whatever, they could be adding new features or they could be changing up existing features. And you start to realize, okay, if they change this up, this is what we can do. If they switch this up, this is what we can do. This is plan A, this is plan B, just in case something happens, right? Whatever it is. Or let's say it could just be in terms of your internal company. You start to realize that, okay, maybe during this amount of time, during this month, I may not have as much time to start releasing content, or maybe this may not be a good time to release content during this time. So you just dial it back a bit or increase the content during that time, depending on what it is. So that's another good thing of planning ahead of time right now and making sure your video content strategy is on point and ready for 2023. And finally, we are heading into the money parts, the budget. When you plan ahead now, you can know how to allocate resources. You can, let's say, we can better allocate our resources and budget ahead of time. And we can do it more effectively now because we already planning it ahead of time. So we know this is, let's say, for example, we have a campaign going on maybe towards March 2023. We can know, okay, we can start doing the research to figure out what kind of things would need to be done for this campaign, for this video campaign to be complete and done, right? So we'll know maybe this is the amount of budget that we have, and this is what we can do with this budget, and this is the people that we can get on for this project, or we can these are the things that we can do to help the project progress further for the March of 2023, right? For our launch or whatever, right? So that just helps you better plan it out rather than all of a sudden, once again, let's say next week you have to launch a campaign and you're like, okay, we have to launch our video campaign now, but we don't know who to call, we don't know who to partner up with, and we don't really know how much budget we have right now because it's kind of iffy and we've not really planned for it. You don't want to be in a situation like that, and time is already running out. Time does not wait for no one. So when you plan it out, you're able to know exactly how much you can allocate to things and who you can bring on, who to partner with, and what resources you would be needed for whatever video strategy, video content you'll be making, or video assets you'll be making. So keeping that in mind, this is what you can do. Also with that also can align with your goals too, and aligns with how you can track to measure it and make sure that things are going right. So let's say, example, if you spent like this is just an example, right? You spend like $100 to promote a video on YouTube for a week, right? You spend $100 for a week to promote, and then you start tracking it and seeing what results you are getting from that. If you need to dial up the budget a bit more, or if you need to dial up the budget back because you are, converting a lot more now, or something like that. Or if you need to bring on more resources, more people, hire someone or so to help with the amount of results that you're getting, good results, right? So things like that, you need to keep that in mind as you're planning your 2023 video marketing strategy. And that's just the whole cons. And the whole pros, sorry, for cons, there's not really too much. The only cons that are there is just, let's say, they're only two cons, which it could take some time, right? It takes time to plan them. Time to time to plan. It does take time to have a proper plan, a proper strategy. But once you plan it out, let's say, for example, you take a week to plan out your video content strategy for the next quarter, for Q1 for next year, or for Q1 and Q2, or for whichever quarter, or probably for the whole year. You spent that week of time sometime soon. That saves you much more time down the line, actually, than doing it right when it comes, right? You don't want to be in that situation like that. And another con is that, depending on how things go right with your business, depending on how your business changes, how the industry changes, some things might change, right? So let's say plans might change. Um, Plans might change. So the plans might change in the future for your distribution strategy of YouTube, or for not YouTube, for video, or for your whole video strategy. Your plans might change. Let's say Instagram takes off Reels, right? So now if your goal was to increase engagement, now you have to figure out, okay, what other things can we do with video to make sure that we are increasing our engagements then, right? Or let's say you change up your website. Your website has changed a lot now. So now you need to start thinking, okay, where can we start placing these videos on our website to make sure that we are maximizing the efforts that we've put into those videos, right? You need to start figuring that out. Or let's say another plan that might change might be something like someone from your team or so leaves, right? Or you're not the team is not being able to accomplish on time. They're not being able to accomplish the goals on time, so you might start changing things back a little bit, like dialing it back or dialing it more. Let's say maybe even your team that you're creating content with is very proficient and they're very fast with it. Then you might start to think, okay, maybe we need to increase some more things or put some more resources somewhere, so that way we are getting results, just as long as you are reaching your goals, right? Or at least exceeding your goals too. So those are the main two cons of just planning ahead of time, but they are not that big compared to how much potential you can get planning your video content right now and getting it ahead of time. So you might want to think to use video. You might be thinking that I just want to use video for marketing, right? But you can use video in different ways. You can also use video for your internal communications. Video is just a communication tool, right? At the end of the day, that's just what it is. It's just a communication tool. So that's why we at Leet Creative, uh, we like to say that this is what we are doing. We help you better communicate your value to your target audience so that you can win more business. Because let's be honest, the days of text, the days of graphics and images, they are boring. I mean, they are boring nowadays unless you have a really good design or you have a really, really great copy. Then sure, it can work, but the results that you get from that is nothing compared to how much you can get from video. So that's why you start to figure out places where you can place video in and not just use it as a marketing tool to get people down the funnel. And it's just the top of the funnel kind of thing. It's all the way down. It's how you can use video to communicate how much value you can provide to someone. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. So that's it for today. Like I said, keeping it short, keeping it very simple. Let's go here real quick. Shoot, shoot. All right. So yeah, that's it for today. Keeping it short, keeping it very simple. I hope you were able to get some value from this and get a few nuggets and things as to why you should start your video marketing strategy now. And now is the best time to do it rather than when the day actually comes or when next year actually comes. This is not a New Year resolution thing. Okay. This is not something that we think about and we're like, okay, when January 1st comes, January 1st, 2023 comes, then we're going to go hard on video. No, that is not that kind of thing. This is not fitness. This is actual strategy. This is actual marketing here. You start planning it right now and you can start reaping the results later and sooner than later, you know. So other than that, my name is Will from Leet Creative, and as always, don't forget to always make the right video.